Okay, so picture this for a second. Someone offers you the chance to live inside a fully stocked grocery store. And for every single day you last in there, you get paid a lot. How long do you think you could last? Well, for one guy, this wasn't just a hypothetical. It became a very real and, let me tell you, a very lucrative challenge.
Yeah, that's the number. $450,000. That's the absolutely staggering amount of money he walked away with. But here's the thing, earning it took a whole lot more than just sticking it out. It was a game of strategy. So let's break down exactly how he pulled it off.
So, yeah, how do you earn that much money just by living in a grocery store for 45 days? That's the big question. And that's exactly what we're diving into here. It's a wild story of strategy, some serious creativity, and, as you'll see, an incredible amount of psychological pressure.
All right, so to really get how anyone could even attempt this, we've got to understand the game itself. Mr. Beast laid out the challenge, and on the surface, the rules seemed unbelievably simple, almost too simple.
I mean, the initial pitch, it was basically a dream scenario. All you have to do is stay inside the perimeter, this big red line, and for every 24 hours you're in there, you get $10,000. Simple. With a whole store full of food and supplies, it really seemed like, hey, I could stay here for years and walk out a multimillionaire. But of course, there was a catch. And here's where the real challenge kicks in. There was this one massive twist that completely changed everything. It turned this paradise of free food and supplies into a super complex daily puzzle that Alex had to solve just to survive another day.
So, here it is. This is the crucial part. To get that daily 10 grand in cash, Alex had to give back $10,000 worth of stuff from the store. Think about that for a second. This just brilliantly reframes the whole experiment, right? It's not about what you have, it's about what you're willing to lose. Every single day, his world, his resources would literally get smaller. So, faced with something like that, what do you even do? How do you approach a challenge where your home is literally disappearing around you? Well, Alex didn't panic. Nope, he got strategic. From day one, he had a clear-cut plan for how to essentially liquidate his own home. And you know what? At the very beginning, his confidence was absolutely through the roof. He cooked himself a nice steak dinner, he had a clear head, and he felt totally invincible. He was ready for a multi-year stay, no problem. And his logic from the get-go was super clear and really smart. He immediately started identifying things that were basically useless to him. I mean, why keep a TV you can't eat, or thousands of dollars of dog food? He went straight for the high-value, low-utility items to maximize his time right from the start. It just showed he had this mind for optimization, which was absolutely crucial in this early phase. And you know what? This strategy paid off big time, and immediately. He was so efficient just clearing out whole sections of the store, and boom, he hits that six-figure mark in just 10 days. At this point, that $1 million goal, it seemed totally, completely within reach. But here's where things get really interesting. Alex wasn't just surviving, he was adapting. He started using the store's resources not just as currency to trade away, but to actually build a life for himself inside. And that's such a critical psychological shift, right? He went from treating the place like a prison to treating it like a home. I mean, his ingenuity was just incredible. He built a functioning shower out of some shelves and a plastic liner. He built walls for shelter out of water bottles. He even got himself a forklift to move stuff around more efficiently. It really speaks to that deep human need we all have to create order and comfort, to kind of carve out a little piece of home no matter where you are. But as the days started to drag on, a new, powerful variable entered the equation: his family. That initial goal of $1 million, it started to feel a lot less important than the idea of missing his son's birthdays. So he adjusted his target. He decided that $500,000 was enough. He was shifting the finish line closer. So at this point, Alex is kind of in a groove. He's got his home, he's got his system down, he's got a new goal, he's comfortable. But what he didn't know was that the entire game was about to be flipped completely upside down. But first, a moment of just pure joy. To celebrate him making it 30 days, they brought his wife and kids in for a surprise visit. It was this incredible emotional boost, a huge reward that reminded him exactly what he was fighting for. And then, the very next day, a devastating twist. The power was cut. The whole store just plunged into darkness. And this wasn't an accident. Oh no. This was a deliberate move by Mr. Beast to completely escalate the psychological toll of the challenge.
The change was just instantaneous and brutal. His cozy, comfortable home became a dark, cold cave. All the food in the freezers started to melt and spoil. The entire atmosphere of the challenge just shifted. It went from a strategic game of numbers to a grim, miserable survival test.
And you know, the darkness was just the beginning. The pressure just kept mounting. He has a forklift accident that floods his little shelter. And then they hit him with the ultimate form of isolation. His daily cash delivery? It was brought in by a robot. The last tiny piece of human connection he had was deliberately severed. It went from isolation to just pure dehumanization.
So all of this pressure, the darkness, the dehumanization, the accidents, it all started to add up. It was leading Alex to his breaking point. That confident, invincible man from day one, he was fading, and he was fading fast. And the transformation was just stark. I mean, think about it. He went from the boundless optimism of, I could be here for years, to the sheer, utter exhaustion of, dude, I'm done, man. I just want to leave. Those 44 days had taken a massive toll, and it just goes to show you how even the strongest will can be worn down by that kind of sustained pressure and isolation.
But ultimately, you know what it was? It wasn't the darkness, or the cold, or the spoiled food that really broke him. It was the profound, crushing loneliness. And that, right there, reveals the core truth of this whole experiment. When you strip everything else away, the most valuable currency we have isn't money. It's human connection. So for the final decision, Mr. Beast brought his wife into the store. And you just have to picture the scene. They're standing there, surrounded by a literal sea of cash, and they have to make a choice, weigh the value of 5 more days against the value of just going home right now. And in that moment, the decision was crystal clear. He chose his family. Alex crossed that red line for the last time after 45 long days, walking away with a truly life-changing $450,000. And it really leaves you with a fascinating question, doesn't it? This whole challenge, it was basically one giant test of what we truly value. So you kind of have to ask yourself, in a world with unlimited resources but total, complete isolation, where would you draw the line? What's your price for connection?